the electorally, and in the on his basically he keeps getting lucky in election year. In his first midterm, he lost the Congressional House of Representatives. In the second midterm election, he lost the House of Representatives and the Senate. Basically, he has battered the American working class, and he has been a Zionist shill. He has been a Wahhabist shill. He has been quite close with Britain ideologically when it comes to foreign policy. And to be honest, as Ari Fisher tweeted on the 2012 election night, when he heard Obama won Ohio, he typed in the Twitter, yes, 8 more years of Bush. And that, for me, sums it up. Obama, invested in education, and he may have got his signature healthcare plans through, but I think Obama's presidency, like Bush's father, Clinton, and Reagan, and we could even say Carter while we're at it, they've all been detrimental to the working class people of America. That is my...
Thank you so much, Michael. And Mark, with that meaningful laugh.
Well, for me, it's a very simple issue. Even if Obama had achieved great things, he brought public education. As a father of 10 children, I have to worry about my children being educated. Even if he made universal health care available to everyone, as a father of 10 children, that's something that's very important to me, since I can't afford health care for my children as it is. Even if he made us millionaires, every American family, made us rich beyond our wildest dreams, at the bottom line of it is that Obama oversaw 7 years of mass murder in Libya, mass murder in Syria. He has worked to undermine the stability of all of the countries in the Middle East. In 7 years of his presidency, he has oversaw the transfer of tens of billions of dollars of American money to Israel so that she could murder Palestinians. He oversaw the political protection of Israel in the UN. Every time Israel engaged in one of these blood binges, such as Operation Cast Lead or Operation Defensive Edge or any of these other obscene titles that Israel gives, really what are these exercises in human sacrifice that take place? So even if Obama had done all of these wonderful things, he brought health care, he brought education, he made American families wealthy, he still was the author of several instances of mass murder of innocent men, women, and children. And so even if he had managed to do all of these other things, at the end of the day, he's still a mass murderer. So how do I, as a father, view this? My family is in more danger now than it was before Obama took office because of the mass murder that he perpetrated in these various countries. Now people hate Americans more, and this means that we are in more danger. So, at the end of the day, for me, politics begins at home. And in my home, my children are in more danger. And as a father, I look at what has been done to other families just like mine around the world. And I say to myself, if I were one of those fathers who watched as his children were murdered, okay, I think that the left-leaning Zionists in America, what they would like to see happen with Iran is for Iran to become a Middle Eastern version of America. And they're going to use money, and they're going to use Hollywood and all of these things to corrupt Iran from the inside. They don't want to see Iran bombed and destroyed like Iraq was. They want to, first of all, there's a lot of money to be made by lifting the sanctions and doing business with Iran. Iran has 75 million people, very well-educated people, people who, when I was the 3 times I was in Iran, everybody's got a smartphone in each hand. They're very educated people. They're very involved people. And so there's a lot of money to be made by American business, by American banks, by doing business with Iran instead of bombing Iran. So the left-leaning Zionists, what they would like to see happen, obviously, is this slow process of corrupting Iran and destroying the revolution of 1979 in a cultural and in a financial way. And I saw this, when I was in Iran. I especially was paying attention to the young people, because in Iran, as you know, there are divisions. The young people are very frustrated. They want the sanctions lifted so that they can use their God-given talents to show how creative and brilliant the Iranian people are, but they can't. And so there's this understandable frustration on their part. However, as soon as a missile from wherever flies from an American aircraft carrier or from an Israeli plane, and it crosses into Iranian airspace, all of those divisions that exist within Iranian society will evaporate immediately.
That's
And
the
both
point.
the left,
Yeah.
yes, the left and the right, and the young and the old, and the fundamentalists or the principalists and the reformers, they will all come together. And this is what the smarter Zionist elements fear. They know that if they launch a war against Iran, a physical war like that, that all of the time that has been spent trying to fracture Iran and to create these divisions in society will evaporate immediately. So, as far as the liabilities that you discussed and what the sanctions may do, I think that in the United States, okay, let me put it to you this way: there is a portion of the right wing who obviously they're totally under the spell of Benjamin Netanyahu and people who think like him, and they think that we should take a stronger position with Iran militarily. But in general, the fever to go to war against Iran is not the same as it was to war against Iraq right after 9/11. It just simply isn't
thank
there.
you.
So I think in general, what Obama was able to accomplish with these negotiations, the P5+1 and all of the rest of that, I don't see that it's going to hurt his party. I don't see that it really is a liability for anyone. Of course, Netanyahu is not happy about it because he wants to see 75 million dead Iranians. This is what he wants to see. But as far as it being a liability for the American people, especially now that the Russians are involved in Syria, and since the Russians do maintain a decent relationship with Iran, I don't see that this is going to be a liability for anyone.
Thank you. Of course, they try to go through a soft war instead of a hard war.
Soft.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you, Mark. And Michael, anything to add?
Well, I have Facebook friends in America, and I speak to them, and believe it or not, there are Democrats who are just walking away and saying, I'm done with that. I can't be supporting this right-wing Zionist party who go with neoconservative, militaristic, unilateralist kind of thought and ideology, because when we come to it, is Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton that far away from a Paul Wolfowitz, a Richard Pearl, a Michael Ledeen? Because basically, if they were pushed by, say, an aggressive Saudi king, an aggressive Likud administration, they would be targeting Iran. And